I just received my first dividend payments in my $0 to $100,000 dividend stock portfolio. And I added a completely new stock that breaks every rule I had set out for myself. In this video, we'll find out how much I got paid in those dividends, what that stock is, and what the heck I was thinking when I bought it. So let's go. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time here, my name is Jay, and on this channel, I give you the tools, the tips, and the tactics that you need to get the most out of your money. Now, if you haven't been here in a while, I started a series where I am creating a dividend portfolio on Robinhood to create passive income through dividend payments. I started with $0, and the goal is to grow that portfolio into a $100,000 portfolio. If you haven't seen the prior videos I've made on this, I'll leave a link in the description to the playlist where you can catch up on that. And as always, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future updates on this. So let's not waste any time, let's jump straight into the Robinhood app and see how things are going. All right, so we are currently up to about $2,500 in this portfolio. I think in the last update I was around $1,700. So obviously I've contributed some money, but my stocks have been growing, which is nice. The market has been good. We're up 25% all time. Not too shabby, right? All right, so first, the dividend payments. Okay, so here are the dividends that I've been paid so far in this portfolio. Ignore the one at the bottom. SiriusXM was a free stock I got that I ended up selling, but not before they paid me a 1-cent dividend. So thank you, SiriusXM. Regarding this portfolio, the first dividend I got paid was on Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola paid me $2.88 earlier this month, reinvested into the stock at $48.70, so I got 0.059 shares of Coca-Cola. So the next time Coke pays me a dividend, it will be on that tiny amount more shares. Hopefully they'll have increased their dividend by that time, and I'll get a slightly larger payment. That's the theory behind the dividend growth investing. You reinvest it into more shares, which means you get a larger payment, which means you reinvest into more shares. That dividend payment grows. Rising tide lift all boats, as they say. So the next dividend payment I got was smaller, from O, which is realty income. Now, I got paid 57 cents for a dividend on my realty income shares. But if you remember back to when I went through my first stock purchases, realty income pays a monthly dividend. So this is 57 cents per month, which will work out to about $2-ish over the quarter. So it's kind of in line with Coca-Cola there. No, it doesn't tell me. Oh, it's still pending. That's why it doesn't tell me what it's been reinvested into, a number of shares. Also still pending is dividend from Cisco, $1.74. If you can't tell by now, dividend growth investing is a long game. It's not a get-rich-quick kind of thing. Also, I'm starting with a small amount of money, so obviously the dividends I'm getting are rather small. So that's what I've been paid thus far, just in the month of October here. $2.88 from Coca-Cola, 57 cents from Realty Income, and $1.74 from Cisco. Better than nothing, right? It's a start. You'll see as we go, those will get larger and more substantial. So as you can see, even though I've only had this portfolio for about a month, the dividend payments are starting to roll in. We're starting to get the ball rolling on this whole thing. Now, I also mentioned when I started this portfolio, I would be contributing $100 a week from my bank account into this portfolio to help it grow. I've been doing that. I made some purchases with that money. The one new stock I mentioned at the beginning of this video, but that's not all the activity I've had. I also took some of that money, bought more shares of AT&T. So you can see here, we are now up to 10.33 shares of AT&T in this portfolio. We're actually down 2.8% on our AT&T investment. But again, AT&T has that 7% dividend yield. AT&T, I'm not expecting too much of an up or down in the stock price. I'm kind of expecting it just to hold steady for quite a while, and we'll collect that 7%. Now, the one new stock I bought in this portfolio, it goes against pretty much every guideline I had for this portfolio setting out. If you remember back to the one top mistake that new dividend investors make, you could make a claim I'm making that mistake. I'd argue otherwise, but let's get into what that stock is, why I bought it, and why it's such a gamble. And that stock is HSBC. Now you see here on the graph, over the past month, you see this huge dip where HSBC fell from $20, their high was $21.21 over the last month, down to about $18.35. Now that is about, the $18 range is about where I picked up this stock. Since then it's back up to $20. But why is this stock such a gamble? Why does it go against all the parameters I laid out? I bought 10.5 shares of AT&T, actually up 7.5% on it. Yay me. So the reason HSBC is such a gamble is because of all the bad news surrounding the company right now. Now, when I bought the stock was at a 25-year low, which, sounds like a great value, right? And it may turn out to be that it was, but it could also be me making another stupid mistake like I did with BP, as I've mentioned in many other videos. The reason HSBC is so low is because A, they have a huge presence in Hong Kong and China. If you've been paying attention to the news, you know there's a lot of tension between those two companies. There are a lot of rumors that China may take action against businesses doing business in Hong Kong, which would affect HSBC severely. Now, another reason HSBC was beaten down so low is because a big report came out that a lot of these major banks got caught up in some, let's just say, shady business. HSBC, JP Morgan Chase, Barclays, Wells Fargo, I believe, and a couple others had been not adhering to anti-money laundering standards to the extent that they should have been. Now, it's been a while since I read what happened, but I think the way I interpret it is at these major banks, people within the company were raising red flags about transactions, about accounts within the bank. They were filing the proper forms and paperwork and escalating it, and then no one was doing anything. So the story was that all these major banks are, allowing terrorists and drug cartels and all sorts of other unsavory characters to be conducting their business and laundering money through their banks. Now, obviously, that sounds horrible, would go totally against any sort of socially responsible investing that I mentioned in a previous video. So why did I buy this stock with all that news out there? So the reason I bought this stock is because I really don't think that HSBC or Chase or Barclays or any of these other banks are really going to face any serious consequences over this. I mean, it's probably a cynical point of view, but let's be honest, what are the odds of anyone taking a strong stand against any of the banks right now? So because of that, and because it seemed to be just about all of the banks, or a large portion of the major banks got caught up in this, it's not like it was singularly HSBC. It's more of a sector-wide problem rather than an individual company problem. That's why I don't think, other than the initial shock and drop in the stock price, I don't think anything major is going to come of this. So I took a gamble on HSBC. I picked it up around $18.95 per share, got 10.5 shares, and as you can see, 12.71% dividend yield right now. So as long as their business stays steady, As long as nothing further, the other shoe doesn't drop, if you will, they should be able to maintain that dividend yield. PE ratio is 6, which is super low. So while there is a lot of bad news surrounding the stock, I'm betting it's only temporary. It's only a short-term thing. It's not going to have any real long-term major consequences. Now, the China-Hong Kong thing could be a little more severe, but again, I don't think that they're going to get completely cut off from doing business in China or anything like that. So it's a gamble. Next month or a few months from now, I could be sitting here, you could come back to this video and I could look like the biggest moron you've ever seen on YouTube. It's a distinct possibility, but I took a gamble. We'll see how it plays out. Give me a thumbs up on this video. Give it a like down below if you think it's a gamble worth taking. And we'll see how it goes, and I'll see you in the next video. Don't put anything like that in the bloopers. You'll get me kicked off YouTube.